Yeah, we are live. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Live with Science Didi. Today, we have someone who is going to demystify periods for us or demystify the process of menstruation for us, which is surrounded by so much taboo in our society. So, I would like my partner Linsha to introduce our guest.
Hello everyone. So today we have Shraddha and Huda with us. So Shraddha is a full-time blogger, and Shraddha and Huda together started the period movement. So the period movement is basically to spread awareness about about menstruation and kill all the taboos. So we have Huda also with us. So Huda and Shraddha, can you elaborate more about your work?
Yeah, about period movement and about your individual work as well.
Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for the intro. I am a Waldorf teacher full time, and I blog, and I'm also a part of the period movement. We have been doing this for 3 years now. So it's all started in 2017 when Huda came to me for telling me that I have something in mind, and I think that we should kind of start a movement about menstruation, and going outside and giving workshops to the people who they need. So then I kind of thought about it, and in that same meeting, and after a while I was like, yes, we need to kind of just start off. So वहीं से फिर शुरू हो गया. We started off with our own what do you say, journey, and we started giving workshops. We went out, we gave many workshops to people who were the underprivileged. We even, after a point, we even gave workshops to boys. So that was, so it's going on and on, and we kind of recently did a web series of Red Dot Talk on Facebook.
Yeah, yeah.
So it's going on. And Huda, you want to add something?
Yeah, hi guys. So I think I've missed the first part of this. So
So we just
can
started.
anybody hear me?
We just
Yeah.
started. Yeah.
Okay. So I think about the period movement, we thought of coming up with it. It was a very spontaneous decision, to be precise, and we just thought of doing this because we felt that, firstly, because of our own experiences where we didn't know enough about menstruation, and the second was when, as a nutritionist, when I was working, I saw a lot of women who were confused when it came to discussing their menstrual cycles because they were suffering from PCOS and they wouldn't talk about it even in front of a female doctor or a female, to be precise. So that's when I realized that we need to, raise awareness about this topic. We need to talk about this as much as possible and educate women coming from the underprivileged background. And what we have seen throughout our journey is that women coming from the underprivileged background, or girls coming from the underprivileged background, are more accepting of the fact that we bleed and we go through menstruation, and as compared to women who in fact come from the higher socioeconomic strata, because we had one episode where we just ended up talking about it in the open, and then there were certain women who were looking at us, and they were giving us those looks where, how did you talk about it, kind of a thing. So I feel it's more of that, the acceptance in our society is very less when it comes to a topic like menstruation. Even today, we see it as a taboo. We don't want to talk about it. We feel that, it's just something that needs to be hidden, or something that shouldn't be spoken about. Yes, Shogita.
Right. Right. So we met. Linsha and I met you all in an effort to try and bring your work to Turbe, and finally we are able to do it online. And we hope that more of our students connect with you. This is one barrier that even we have faced. Reproductive health, or talking about period, or talking about anything that is surrounding the subject of sex is very difficult for not just girls but also for boys, because there is so much taboo around it. So I hope that you all can shed more light to it, and I will let you all start this subject like you would in your workshops.
Okay. So I think when we give workshops, we normally start with the what, the normally we go with what exactly is menstruation about, the physical aspects of it. Huda does the physical aspects of it, and
Mhm.
what exactly happens in your body. What is the uterus? Very basic stuff. And then afterwards, we kind of when we are talking about it, we kind of make them feel more comfortable while doing that. So the main
Okay.
purpose is while we are like talking or interacting with them, they need to be more comfortable in kind of asking us questions afterwards.
Okay.
So she makes them more comfortable. Then I come up with the psychological aspects of it, of PMS, and what all do we go through, what hormonal
Yeah.
changes we go through during
So, can
periods.
you talk a little bit about PMS? And that is everybody might know the biological aspect of it, and we are learning
Hmm.
that in schools as well. So, PMS is something, or even diseases related to reproductive health is something not discussed as much.
Yeah, exactly. So PMS is very common. So this is so according to you said that there are many diseases. Yes, they are, which I don't think even people who normally speak about menstruation or go about, even I don't think even they are aware of it, because we started being aware of the diseases when we started doing our period movement. So when we started searching on net and we started, having some more research, only then we came to know that, there are so many things related to periods, diseases, which we never knew about before. There are so many. One main reason, PMS is not a disease; it's a syndrome. No, it will just go through for like 2, 3, 4 days before your periods and during your periods. But I think apart from PMS, PCOS is one basic. What do you say, not even basic, it's like more than basic phenomena nowadays. I think in every building, I think there will be at least 2, 3 girls speaking about PCOS, like they have it, because I am one of them and I know how common it is wherever I go. So if the moment I say that I have PCOS, I just admit to it, and the other person will be like, "Arey yaar, I know somebody who has PCOS," or they'll be like, "What, even I have PCOS." So it's a quick connect on PCOS. So PCOS is something which is very common. PMS is very common, and another thing which Huda kind of made me more familiar with was endometriosis. So these three we kind of know right now, like it's very common around. But apart from that, there are many. Like I have one disease I can mention, which I can remember right now, is dysmenorrhea. Like you go through like more abnormal cramps during your periods, so which is not even bearable. Like normally people get cramps, but then there are many people whom we don't know who go to the extent of even fainting during their periods. So that is the disease which people don't take it seriously, or they don't even they feel that it's normal, that feel that it's normal. That is the danger. So
Why
they
is
need
this? Why
treatment
is
for
it
that.
that such a
And
why is it such a serious pain not being taken seriously? Or do you all
okay,
have you all
so
delved into it?
the serious pain can be due to many reasons. The serious pain can be one of the main factors of why the pain is because somewhere the muscles, the vaginal muscles, and the uterus muscles, like the contractions which are happening, because of the why do we get cramps is because mostly because of the contractions which happen during our periods. So that is one of the reasons. And even in the vagina, there are, for the blood to flow down, for the blood to come out, the muscles, they do a lot of mehnat, upper niche. So they kind of pull it down. So in this process, there is a lot of pain which happens. So this is one of the reasons which is normally happens. Now, for those people who get abnormal cramps, or they can't bear it, so this same process happens in more intensified manner. It amplifies in the system due to many reasons. It can be some nutrition can be one of the reasons. They might be too thin. Even their body structure, they might be either very thin or they might be obese. So वो सब पता चल जाता है in their so maybe somewhere diet is not happening. There's no healthy diet over there. For some people it might be their lifestyle. For some people there are many other external reasons. For some people, it is also hereditary. So there are many other factors which goes in all these things.
So,
So,
Jogita, I'd like to add something over here to what Shraddha has said. I mean, PMS is something that was considered to be a myth. A lot of people said PMS did not exist, but studies have proven that PMS does exist, and about 90% of women go through PMS, and they might suffer from PMS somewhere around a week prior or 10 days prior to getting their periods, and it can be really severe in some cases, and if it is really severe, it is known as PMDD. So that's premenstrual dysphoric disorder, which
Yeah.
is seen in a lot of women, where they can they have a lot of mood swings, and they go through cramps, they go through pains, and they have their body aches, and there are so many things that they go through during PMDD. In fact, the most prominent thing that they see is their mood swings. So they don't know when they are crying, or when they are actually laughing, or when they want to express something, or when they want to get angry on somebody. So it only amplifies in the case of PMDD. And also, as Shraddha mentioned, that it's not only about PMS, it's about menstrual issues that women in our society face these days, that are not spoken about. So something like she spoke about PCOS here. The main problem here, Jogita, is then when we don't talk about periods, we are not going to talk about PMS, and we are not going to talk about things like PCOS or endometriosis or endometrial hyperplasia. We are not going to talk about all these things until and unless we start with the basics. So even today, a lot of women feel that PMS is a myth. It doesn't happen, or it doesn't exist, because it maybe doesn't happen in them, but there are a lot of women who go through PMS, and they do go through those prominent. So, I mean, there is a lot of need, there's a lot of awareness that's needed in our society when it comes to PMS or menstrual issues or disorders, because the more we try to shun it, the more you see menstrual issues coming up or cropping up every single day. I mean, there was a time when endometriosis or diseases, like endometrial cancer and PID, pelvic inflammatory disorder. Nobody knew about it. But all of a sudden, why do we feel that these things are cropping up? It is because we have been silent about these issues, or we have been silent about women's health on the whole for such a long time. And that's why every single day as a nutritionist, I come across women, every second to third woman is suffering from PCOS. It's that common these days. So I mean, PCOS has become like a household disorder kind of a thing, or a disease
Yeah.
kind of a thing, a syndrome kind of a thing, where almost every single girl is going through some or the other issues. And in fact, as much as menstruation is normal, but there are certain things that you need to look forth when you are menstruating, something like your menstrual blood, the color of your menstrual blood, the flow that you have, the cramps that you get, okay, and the kind of pain you go through during the entire phase, whether it is back pain, whether it is leg pain, and whether you suffer from a lot of headache during your menstruation. So there are things that you need to watch out for when you are menstruating. That is also very important. While menstruating is normal, but if there are that are troubling you while you are menstruation, if this is what I tell most of the people, that pain is normal, but then if that pain is stopping you doing your normal chores, or you're not able to do your normal work, then that means there is something wrong with your body, or there's something wrong with your menstrual body is trying to signal. And it's very important to look at those signals that your body is giving you. So all in all, I would say that PM is something that needs to be taken seriously, because usually you would see this very easily. People use it very loosely. If there's a woman who gets angry on something, अरे हाँ इसको PMS हो रहा होगा, kind of a thing, or they will just end up saying कि अरे नहीं, if she says something, say, oh, she's PMSing, forget it. So PMS is, feel that okay, using PMS is all common, and it's fine, and it's a very easy phase to go through. But PMS on the whole is a very difficult phase for a lot of women, because really don't know when you're crying, or when you're laughing, or when you're just you just want to express yourself, when you just want to hit somebody or bash someone. you really don't come to know, because it's all hormonal, and a woman's body is going through hormonal changes throughout the month. It is not only during menstruation, because every time you are going to menstruate, your body is going to prepare your, itself for menstruation. So I
Hmm.
think all in all, it's very important to understand our body. It's very important to understand the physiology of your body. It's important to understand why menstruation happens and what leads to menstruation. Because
Hmm.
everything becomes much more easier.
Hmm.
Yes, Yogita.
Right. So, PMS and PCOD are more in the base mainstream, but as I'm getting the picture, PMS is something that is now, there is a negative connotation to PMS if a girl says that
Yeah,
she has
Yeah.
PMS, or yeah, this is even seen in the pop culture, and sometimes that people are referring to mood swings hai kya, periods hai kya, whenever
exactly.
a girl is angry. It also
Hmm.
delegitimizes the anger, that genuine anger that a girl may be having, and also
Right.
makes light of PMS as a pain or an issue that a lot of girls are going through. So,
Hmm.
yeah. So, in general, my question also was that why is, of course, not everybody is going through a lot of heavy pain, but
Hmm.
definitely, a lot of people are not taking this pain seriously.
Hmm.
Like, if I tell somebody I cannot work today, I just got my period, or even the issue around period leave, if you go to see, a lot of it was discounting the experiences of women. Can you explain to
Hmm.
us why this happens? And this is not just in the Indian society, even abroad. I am getting to see comments saying, why do you need period leaves, or what is the need for period leaves? So, what is the thought process behind all of these opinions?
So I think, Yogita, it is more of it has got more to do with the kind of conditioning we have been given. As a the whole, we are told that periods is something, don't talk about it. It's only औरत की बीमारी or औरत का problem or ladies problem. That's
Hmm.
the only way it is addressed. Now, even for that, if in a work culture also, if it's a corporate, if it's a company, अगर आपको छुट्टी चाहिए या आपको कुछ चाहिए, so you're going to say, okay, मुझे ladies problem हो रहा है. Nobody's going to say I'm menstruating, or I'm going through periods. Nobody
Yeah.
opens up and talks about it. In fact,
Hmm.
women here themselves shun this topic more than men do, because
Hmm.
when we speak to men about this, they are pretty welcoming of the topic, but women themselves, they are just going to shun it, and they are just going to say, अरे छोड़ो ना, इसके बारे में क्यों बात करनी है हम लोगों को, because this is our problem, let us not share it with somebody else. But why don't we realize one thing, that all of us are in this world because our mothers menstruate, because
Hmm.
they went through the process of menstruation. Because if menstruation did not exist, we women would not have got pregnant. Or if menstruation does not happen, the process of ovulation doesn't happen. If ovulation doesn't happen, a woman cannot give birth. So I mean, it is as simple as that, that if we don't have awareness about it, if we ourselves as women are going to shun this topic, or say that okay, छोड़ो ना, कौन बात करेगा इसके बारे में, everybody is going to give you the same kind of look, because women themselves have never been on the forefront of accepting this particular problem, or they've never spoken about it. In fact, when I personally speak to a lot of people, and when we go for workshops, a lot of girls open up, and they tell us that मुझे बहुत ज़्यादा pain होता है during my periods, and my back hurts like anything, my head aches like
Yeah.
anything. But they really, when they go and tell their mothers are like, okay, okay, ठीक है, ये normal है, ये तो होता है, मतलब ये time पे ऐसा होना normal, and they just shun it. So when women themselves are going to shun it, and when not going to talk about a topic like periods or menstruation, or their pain, or the kind of turmoil they are going through, I think everybody is going to discount it, or everybody is going to come down with a narrative that अरे छोड़ो ना यार, इसको seriously क्यों लेना है, क्योंकि women themselves are not taking their health seriously. And so many women, they just they just like end up coming, they just say हाँ ठीक है ना, होता है, ऐसा होता है. जब आप खुद ही उस चीज को नलिफाई कर रहे हो, या उस फीलिंग को आप नहीं समझ रहे हो, why do you expect somebody else to understand it? Like, for example, if I'm a guy, and you end up telling me that okay, I am going through my periods, or I need care during that time, Now if the guy has been born and brought up in an upbringing where his mother has spoken to him about it, and his mother has sensitized him about the topic, the guy is going to be, he's going to take more care of you than any other woman maybe. If you go and tell some other woman, she'll be like, हाँ ठीक है ना, normal है ना, होता है ना, ठीक है, हो जाएगा, kind of a thing. So I feel it's more about the kind of conditioning the society has, or the way we have been conditioned, the way we have been told and spoken to about periods. Because abhi when Zomato came up with period leaves, everybody was, oh, women need period leaves, अरे बाप रे, इतनी सी चीज के लिए इनको period leaves चाहिए. Every single woman is menstruating, and now they want to all of a sudden normalize this, and they want period leaves for it. But why do we fail to understand that every woman is different? Every woman's pain and cramps are very different. Seeing somebody who doesn't go through a lot of pain doesn't mean somebody else may not go through it. So every person's body is different, every person's physiology is different, and there are women who are unable to work when they are menstruating, especially for the first 2 days, they are unable to work. So I think that is where we need to change the whole scenario. We as women need to come in the forefront and say, boss, yes, I bleed, yes, it is normal, but at the same time, it is not something that is easy to go through every month.
Yeah,
I
and
mean,
you can't generalize it also.
exactly. And men have one cut on their hand and they start bleeding, they'll start behaving like babies. बाप रे, मुझे कट हो गया, मुझे मार लग गई, मुझे दवा लगाओ, फलाना करो, ये करो. But when it comes to a woman, she's bleeding every month, and imagine the kind of pain she's going through, because her uterus is pulling her apart, and there are contractions, there is pain, and she's seeing those blood clots. In fact, seeing your own blood going out of your body, it's not something that is that should be shunned, or that should be seen as, अरे बाप रे, ये क्या चीज है. This is something that is to be taken seriously at times. So I feel, yeah.
So coming to this disgust aspect that is associated with period, so can you clarify some of the most of the myths that are built around it is because of the disgust that is associated with period?
Exactly.
Yeah, what is the reason why this disgust, people are so disgusted by this?
See, firstly, I think as a society and as people, we are disgusted by blood. We just feel, oh baap re, खून. तो उसकी वजह से I think half of the time,
But the same blood we will use in religious rituals, religious rites, correct? There are not just Hindu, even there are variety of even tribal traditions where blood is used as a poured on the deity, or some people cook blood and eat. Okay,
right.
So it's not like we are unaware of blood. So is it because it's coming out of a woman's body that this blood is considered so bad? In fact, even if you get a cut, don't you just put it to your mouth and
right, just to stop the bleeding? Yeah. But I think a lot of people are grossed with the idea of blood. Especially when I have spoken to people, and even Shraddha would agree to me that when we speak to people, they are only like, अरे वो तो गंदा खून होता है ना जो बॉडी से निकलता है, लड़की वो टाइम पे अशुद्ध होती है या impure होती है,
or from the dirty part, na, apparently.
Exactly, because they feel it's coming from the vagina, because it's coming from the
exactly.
People feel, oh my god, you know what, that is a dirty place. But boss, I'm sorry, when the baby is coming out from that place, when you're having an intercourse, and if everything is normal, then why are you so grossed about a woman bleeding from that place? Why is it so? See, because as I'm all about conditioning, it is all about the way our society has built it up. Because starting से हमको भी यही बोला गया था, अरे that blood is dirty, वो गंदा खून निकलता है बॉडी से, या a girl is impure at that particular time. तो वही चीजें we have carried forth, वही चीज हम अपने साथ में लेके जा रहे हैं. When a girl is asked to sleep separately because no she's dirty, you eat in different utensils or different plates or drink in a different glass, and जब वो हो जाएगा, पूरा process हो जाएगा, तो you wash your clothes separately, don't wash it with everybody else's clothes. So I mean, that is because start से ही हमने ऐसे सोचा है कि okay, it is dirty. Now people don't understand basic science के जो impure blood होता है या pure blood होता है, वो body के अंदर ही circulate होके the body is going to cleanse it and make it into pure blood. It is going to do the cleansing process on its own. It does not have to come out of your body. It will not come out of your body because you need that cleansing part. So I mean, it's basic science that no, it is not dirty blood that is coming out. Obviously, it will have some cervical mucus in it. It will have some, it might have some sweat in it. So it does get mixed, because obviously when that in that area also you would see a lot of sweat. You would see a lot of bacteria are also present. So that all that is definitely there, but there is nothing gross or dirty about it. As much as we get disgusted about it, then we should get disgusted about the entire process of childbirth.
Hmm.
Okay, we should get
Right.
disgusted about the entire process, because when you come out you are engulfed, you are enclosed in the same blood. So if you're getting engrossed by the vagina, or if you're getting engrossed by the blood that is coming out, I think you should get engrossed by the entire process of childbirth, and let's stop having children if that's the case. So I mean, it's simple that it is a process. It is how a woman is made, and there is no disgust about it. It is absolutely okay. It has to be accepted as a normal process, and the earlier we accept it, I think it's going to be good for everybody. Shraddha, would you like to throw some light on it?
I think the only issue, what Huda has said, I think the only issue is the awareness and being more
Hmm.
receptive towards everything. So the conditioning, how Huda said so rightly, that we have been brought up like that. We have when we are introduced to periods, हमें यही बोला जाता है कि first of all, don't tell this to anybody. That is the first thing our moms teach us, that please don't tell this to anyone. And there are so many things related to that you need to now be very careful. It's like the whole environment they make now about the periods, it all starts from
Very
there. And
yeah.
with
Yeah.
boys, what
Can you
happens is
outline what some
with
boys
boys,
may not know this? What happens exactly when in our culture when a girl gets period? Like I think the experience is different, but what was your experience, or what is the general experience that girls have when they get their periods first?
my experience was I knew about it, and I got it pretty much at the right age. But at the same time, I was in an all girls school. So I had people, like I had my classmates who got a bit earlier. Like, I had three, four girls who had got a bit earlier, like very early, like they had gotten in third or fourth grade, that
Oh,
early. So one day, I think teacher had told in our class that and in my school, I studied in Dubai, so there was no like shunning of this whole thing that much. So my teachers are very much cool about it, and they told that you know those who have their periods going on. I have heard that in this class there are two, three girls who have got.
oh, so does network got cut?
Disconnected, yeah.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
I'll continue from.
yeah.
So
Yeah, yeah,
I think as we've been speaking about it all this while, that it's more about the conditioning the society has given us. It's more about the way we have. With my personal experience, I also was educated about menstruation when we were in school. But then, all the girls who had got their periods, they were busy giggling amongst themselves. So, they were laughing, ki ki kha kha
Yeah.
cuckoo, and, they were doing all that. Because of which, half of the knowledge that our counselor was giving us, we couldn't, because it was all like a bouncer for us, जो ऐसे bouncer की तरह निकल गया, हमको कुछ समझ नहीं आया. So when I got it for the first time, I was personally, I thought, oh my, happening to me, because I personally felt I'm bleeding from there. So I really did not know that you bleed from there during your period. So I was very grossed about it. And I just felt, boss. So
Hmm.
I think I rushed to my sister and I told her that, okay, boss, this is what is this is what happened. And then she told me, boss, you've got your periods, and it is pretty normal, and it happens to every girl once she reaches that age. So I mean, yes, Jogita, you have a question?
Yeah. So also about this giggling and everything that happens. So
Yeah.
period and bullying. Can you throw a
Hmm.
little bit light on how girls bully girls or boys bully girls around the
Hmm.
subject of period?
Right. So the first and the foremost thing is, I think just like we educate our girls about menstruation, or just like we tell our girls about menstruation, similarly we should also talk to our boys, our sons about menstruation. That is very important, because what we do is we usually think, okay, it's not necessary to tell our son about menstruation, because he can, he will understand it once he gets married. But उसके फ्रेम में, उतना टाइम फ्रेम में वो जो लड़कियों को बुली करेगा या वो जो लड़कियों को ट्रबल करेगा, उसका क्या? What are we going to do about it? So when a guy knows about it, when he's sensitized, when he is spoken to about very openly, when he's told that okay, this is what it is and you're not supposed to bully a girl, maybe just take care of her, maybe just offer her your sweater, or maybe offer her your coat if she has a if she's bloated or stained her dress.
Yeah,
So I
yeah.
think we have to prepare our sons the way we prepare our daughters about menstruation. It's not something that, because see, tomorrow your son is going to become a father,
Mm.
and when he has to become a father, he has to understand the process of menstruation, he has to understand the process of periods. और जब आप उसको पहले से नहीं समझाओगे, पहले से आप sensitize नहीं करोगे अपने बेटे को, तो maybe he will not take enough care of his partner while she is menstruating or while she is going through that process, because उसको यही लगेगा कि ठीक है ना, ये लड़कियों को होता है, उनकी प्रॉब्लम है, उनको समझने दो या उनको करने दो, डील करने दो उससे. But when your partner is more comforting, when your partner is more of the fact that you bleed every month, you will have pain, you will suffer from those mood swings, when he is told about it properly, उस वक्त he much better husband or much better father than anybody else maybe. And tomorrow he might have a daughter and his daughter might get periods. What is going to happen at that time? It's then फिर वही होता है कि only the mother should educate the son, the daughter about menstruation. But it has to come from both the parents. It has to come from both the parents, because when your father is going to talk to you about menstruation, when he's going to give you that shoulder and tell you that okay beta, this is fine, this is normal, this happens to most of the every girl, you will go through this phase until there's menopause. It empowers a girl when the father is going to come up and speak to you about menstruation. That's the time when a girl would never be scared to talk about
Yeah, this
periods
is
or
also,
menstruation.
we are also preparing the boy. It's not just, there are not just single mothers, there are also single fathers,
Exactly.
and
Yeah.
this becomes a factor then in saying that a guy will not be able to handle a girl child, because
Yeah.
at some
Exactly.
point this is another pop culture thing that you get to see in mainstream, where they
Exactly.
automatically come to the conclusion because this child is a girl, the father will not be able to handle her.
Exactly.
But I don't
Exactly.
think that is not the truth. Men are fully capable of bringing up their own children. They are as capable to love their children and educate their
Right.
children
Right.
as
Right.
we should give men more credit in that sense. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
So I
another,
want to add, I want
yeah.
to add, Jogita. So, Huda, like as you said, what about the workshop that you conduct? So, is it a mixed
Mm-hmm.
crowd or you take workshops, boys separate, girls separate? Like in school, we had this girls separate workshop.
Mm-hmm.
So what is your point on that? So, should we mix it or it should be single?
So, Linsha, see, we have done these, very conservative thing, backgrounds or in schools. So, usually, what they always tell us is, आप लड़कियों से बात कर लो about this, थोड़ा सा आप, लड़कों को बता सकते हो, kind of a thing. So it is usually like they will not allow you to talk to boys and girls both together, even though we have tried our level best to have both together, and both when both are trying to understand it. But then वो हो नहीं पाता है in our scenario most of the times, because ये होता है कि जो स्कूल है या जो सेटअप है, दे themselves feel कि पता नहीं वो टॉपिक कहाँ जाएगा, या किस तरह से लड़के उसको लेंगे या उसका मजाक उड़ाएंगे या क्या करेंगे, या मे बी बिकॉज दे सी दैट वी आवरसेल्व्स आर वेरी यंग, उनको ऐसा लगता है कि दे विल एंड अप सेइंग समथिंग टू देम, अरे बहुत
Mhm.
यंग है. तो आई फील firstly you should always talk to the girls about menstruation, and you should know their experiences, and at the same time it is also very important to talk to boys about how much they know about menstruation, because in the first boys don't know about menstruation, and ekdam se if you go and bombard this topic on them, then they feel कि पता नहीं कुछ alienated चीज आ गई है हमारे सामने that we never knew or we were never told about. So I think it is always better to do it separately for them, and maybe once both of them know about it, then you can do a session where हैं या लड़कियां भी शर्मा नहीं रही हैं उस चीज से, बिकॉज प्रॉब्लम यहाँ ये हो जाती है कि आधे से ज्यादा लड़कियों को ये बोला जाता है उनके घर पे कि लड़कों के सामने इसके बारे में बात नहीं करनी है. So if
Yeah.
we, try and raise that topic in front of a guy, it becomes difficult for them to then sit and listen to the topic. But I would personally want to have a session where I have both boys and girls, and they are in sync, and they are understanding the topic of menstruation. So I feel as a society we should start talking to boys. We should give them that extra credit कि ठीक है ये कल बड़ा होगा, he'll grow up to be a better human being, a better father, a better husband, a better son maybe. Because some few days back I had a chat with somebody, and he told me that his mother has always discussed with him about menstruation. So she has always told him about menstruation, and she has always told him to get the sanitary napkins from the market and from the medical, and she's never shied away from talking about this topic. So that is what I personally feel. If you are allowing your son to understand it, it is never going to be a problem to have a community where nobody has issues with the other person bleeding or going through periods. It's going to be in sync. So that's why if there is some education that is given at home, at school, you want to do a workshop together, it becomes much more easier.
Yeah. So, can you also tell us what are some myths that are going around in Indian context, at least, like and how can they be deadly for women in the end if we continue to give weightage to this myth? What could potentially happen?
Right. So I think few myths I've already discussed this before, that a woman is impure and a woman is dirty, and it is dirty blood that is coming out of her body. And then they say कि आप plant को हाथ लगाओगे plant खराब हो जाएगा, अचार को हाथ लगाओगे अचार खराब हो जाएगा. And they will say don't touch somebody else's food, their food will become impure. Yeah, there are and there are many myths that people have made up on their own. जैसे इट्स लाइक somebody will say no don't touch. अगर कोई religious book है उसको टच कर दिया तो बोलेंगे अरे नहीं नहीं don't touch it, religious book को वो अफेक्ट करेगी या कुछ होगा. So all I feel is कि these myths need to we just need to do away with these myths, because these myths are doing no good to the society at the end of the day. And also what a lot of women do nowadays, what I've seen is they throw the sanitary napkins outside their house. Men of their house don't come to know about the fact that they are menstruating. So again, this is kind of a scare or a myth that they have with them, that if the man of the house comes to know, or men in the house come to know about periods or something, then they are going to go through some kind of a problem in their life. So these are all myths that we have made up in our head. And yeah, as a society we have 10 different myths that you would come across, and there are 10 different things that you would come across. Somebody will throw some myth at you and you'll be left clueless out there. But I feel it's very important that we do away. A woman is not impure, as I've already said. It is something that is very natural. So let's something natural. And in fact, there was somebody when we were doing a session. So somebody said that when we told them that you have pain during menstruation or ये, तो that girl came to us and she told us, अरे ये तो मेरी मॉम ने मुझे बताया, ये तो औरतों को देवी का श्राप है. And that's why we bleed every month and we have pain. So I mean,
I was reading this article about menstrual huts in Nepal, and I don't know if you know about this.
Yes, I've gone through it. Yeah.
Yeah. So can you tell us about the menstrual huts in Nepal, and even some of these near deadly practices in India? Like we may not see this in urban areas, but they are still going on in rural India. So what
Right.
are those practices about? Yeah.
I think in India there are certain parts, like towards in South India, if you see, it is celebrated. When a girl gets her periods, because I have a lot of South Indian friends, so they say that when you get your first period, it is actually celebrated. There's a party that is kept at home, and relatives are called over, and then they are told that हमारी बेटी बड़ी हो गई है, kind of a thing, and all that. And फिर उसके बाद में पूरा celebration होता है. But major parts of India, if you go to see, it is always like the moment a girl gets her periods, it is always told that नहीं, you don't have to speak about it to anybody else. किसी को बताना नहीं है, किसी relative को भी नहीं बताना है, किसी आसपास वाले को भी नहीं बताना है. हाँ, and the biggest thing is they say once you get your periods, stop playing with boys.
Oh.
This is
Right.
one thing that we have heard. Okay, stop playing with boys because now you have तुम बड़ी हो गई हो, तो now you should not be playing with boys now because you're getting your period, so you should stop playing with boys. You should not touch boys also. कि उनकी भी growth रुक जाएगी, kind of a thing. I don't पता नहीं क्या क्या myths we have in our society. And then there are so many things, and there are so many कहीं कहीं पे processions held होते हैं पूरे, when a girl is getting her periods, तो पूरा पूरा वो लोग निकालते हैं. या maybe in Nepal, as they say, होती है once the girl starts getting her period. So हर जगह अपना अलग अलग, they have their own way of looking at it.
Yeah.
But
So,
main
yeah.
problem है acceptance की. The moment we accept it, everything is going to fall in place.
Yeah. So I would just like to shed light to this issue because I have Nepali friends who are working towards this cause, who have told me about the menstrual hut and the pratha around it. What exactly happens is ऐसा होता है कि as soon as the woman gets her period, उसको घर के बाहर भेज दिया जाता है in these small huts, and the conditions that are near inhuman. These are very small. They don't have access to clean water. They don't,
Right.
and of course, because these are villages, they don't even have pads. So a lot of
So they
women,
and
around those
everything.
areas, yeah, and they're also suffering so much because it's painful, and they're stuck in this
Exactly.
small hut without much movement. And what he told me is eventually these women develop a lot of infections and
Right.
reproductive diseases because of living in such conditions. So
Right,
yeah,
right.
it was very disturbing for me to hear that just because she's having her period, उसको इतना परेशान किया जा रहा है, उसको इतना तकलीफ दिया जा रहा है. And even forward thinking households जहाँ पे आदमी खुद बोल रहे हैं कि you don't do this, आप menstrual hut में मत जाओ, फिर भी the women are so scared because of the myths, because of the negativity around period कि वो खुद ही चली जाती है.
Right. Very true. Very true.
Another case that came to light in India around this period leave is Sampada has shared a very nice source about period leaves and the panel discussion that has happened about this. So I'd recommend the audience कि आप जाके देखिएगा. The other problem that I read about period leaves, why I feel it should be nationalized. Do you feel, Huda, it should be a nationalized leave, not just private or corporate should be giving it? I'm not aware if the government is giving period leaves. So, are you aware of anything like this?
I think सबसे पहली बात, or the first important to understand a woman's pain. It is very important to understand that even after the process is normal, it is not something that is easy to go through or easy to sail through. I mean, even today there are women who use sanitary napkins and who use cloth pads and all these things. So it becomes even more difficult for them because they have to change their sanitary napkins every now and then. Now, even if you are using a menstrual cup, you have to go and you have to empty it after some hours. If it is like for your first day or your second day, you have to empty it, like maybe for somebody the bleeding is more, they bleed, there's heavy bleeding, so you need to go and empty it. Otherwise, if the cup leaks, it's going to end up staining your clothes. However, it doesn't happen in most of the cases, even if it is rare, but it does happen. So I feel it is very important that at least if a woman is going through periods, in the first 2 days she is at least asked to rest and then come to work. Because hota ye hai ki when you're going through that pain and when you are in that phase, you don't even feel like working, because there's something that is disturbing you, there is something that is making you feel uncomfortable, the pain, the mood swings, the headache, the backache. You're not going to sit for at the same place for a very long period, because the back pain can be horrible at times. So I feel it should be recognized, and it should made something that is important, because if we do it on a nationalized level, that is when people would want to understand about it, and that is when people would take an effort to understand about it. Otherwise, ये same procession और ये same चलने ही वाला है जो process है, where people are going to be reckless about the whole thing. People are not going to pay attention towards the topic of menstruation, and they're just going to feel ke, it's a women's issue, ladies problem, औरतों की तकलीफ, and it's just going to go on for the next 10, 15, 20 years, and it's not going to get sorted any day. So I feel it does need to happen on a nationalized level. I think Zomato has done a commendable job, because it is one of those companies who has come up with something like this, and recognizing a woman's problem, because हमारी society की आदत खत्म हो जाएगी when we start realizing the problems women go through, and once we start giving importance to women's health. Because even if we say that, when we say that women are partners, when you get married and stuff like that, but तुम उसको एक पार्टनर की तरह ट्रीट नहीं कर रहे हो, when you're not giving her that care, love during the process of menstruation, what do you expect? I mean, how do you even expect the partner to care for you? Because that is one phase where you need most care and understanding at that point in time. So I feel if it is nationalized, it is going to create it's going to create a wave, and it is definitely going to compel a lot more people to talk about menstruation.
Yeah, and my concern also is ki I would like to throw light on this issue to my students and the viewers here. 13,000 sugarcane migrant farm laborers indeed have had undergone forced hysterectomy or hysterectomy
Hmm.
when they did not want to do it because
Right.
the farm owners said कि आप lady हो, आपको period आता है, so then you will
Right.
complain to your period that
Of
you don't
periods, yeah.
come. So
Hmm.
as maybe middle class women or upper middle class women, तो हमें इतना face नहीं करना पड़ता होगा ये heat. We are not asked to get hysterectomies if we want to work,
Right.
but
Right.
it's a
Clear moment
lived
of
reality for these ladies जिनके लिए ये इतना बड़ा issue हो जाता है.
right.
Okay, so we are taking one question here, Huda. Uh,
Right.
Chaitali here wants to know what is best, pads, tampons, or menstrual cups, and what should be
Right.
used. What is the ease
Right.
of using?
Yeah. So, hi, Chaitali. I would say that the best option that is available in the market these days is definitely a menstrual cup. The reason why I would say a menstrual cup is because I have personally been using it for a year now. And what I feel is the menstrual cup empowers you without you have to experience those pains, or maybe the pain also goes down when you are using a menstrual cup. In fact, you don't have to see the blood. That's when it's a sanitary napkin, when you're wearing a sanitary napkin, you definitely feel, okay, there's a blood clot that has dropped, or there's a blood, something has dropped from your vagina. But with a menstrual cup, you don't feel so. And in fact, it sticks, it's inside your vagina, and it's with the vacuum, it's there, right there, so well that you don't even feel that you are using or wearing a menstrual cup. It actually makes you feel really empowered. Also, it's very good for the environment, because if you go to see sanitary napkins, they are not biodegradable, and they are going to add on to the load. They are going to add on to, they are in fact, they take about 500 to 5,000 years to degrade. So if you, the first sanitary napkin that you have used might still be there on the planet, so it
Right.
is not good for the planet. And so that's very important, that is very important. And also, with sanitary napkins, you see a lot of women have infection issues. And also, if you go to see these sanitary napkins, they have a component that is known to be carcinogenic. So
Yeah.
because it gets mixed with your blood, it gets mixed with your the sweat that you have, and because of the bacteria, all of that adds on, and then it might end up giving you a problem. It might end up giving you infections, and you have to change it every 3 to 4 hours. With a menstrual cup, you can keep it for at least 12 hours also, if you are not somebody who has heavy bleeding, and then you can empty it easily. The only
Yeah.
scare here that most of the women have is insertion of the menstrual cup, because they feel, oh my god, how am I going to put it in my
Put it
body,
inside.
or how am I going to insert it in my body, what is it going to do to my body? And there are some other myths where it's it's going to break the hymen and it's going to do whatnot. So the first and the foremost thing is, the menstrual cup is this much. I mean, it's the shape of a funnel. And always remember, all the women who feel intimidated, always remember that if a woman can have intercourse, if a woman can have a baby,
Push out the baby.
you
Yeah.
can you can if you can have a baby, I mean a proper baby coming out of your vagina, you can easily push in a menstrual cup. It's as simple as that. So the first and the foremost thing is, if you are planning to take a menstrual cup, or if you are planning to use a menstrual cup, study about it. Do some research from your end, because every woman's body is different, and every woman's body is going to accept it in a different manner. It is made out of medical grade silicone, and it is very safe. It is not going to give you any infection. As somebody who wants to use it, you should do your part of research first. Okay. And first you need to understand that what it is like, and how you're going to insert it, or which kind of fold is going to work for you. So always try it out, always see what thing is going to work for you, and always go for a brand that offers you different sizes. All the brands have different sizes. One is small, medium, and large, and in some there is only medium and large. So it depends on how much you bleed every month and how your cycle is like. I mean, if you have a lot of bleeding every month, then you should go for the biggest cup, for the largest cup. If you are somebody who has just started using a menstrual cup, or who just wants to use a menstrual cup, is not married, is unmarried, always go for the small or the medium size, because it's going to easily go inside your body. And if you are somebody who's married, who's had babies, you can easily use the large cup, because obviously you would need the large cup. And few things, I mean, you need to keep few things in mind, how you have to insert it. Obviously practice makes a woman perfect. And once you start practicing, once you start recognizing, okay, this is how it has to go inside, or this fold works for me, things are going to get easier. Again, having said that, there are a lot of women who are not comfortable using a menstrual cup. There are some women who feel that they are not comfortable using a menstrual cup. They can opt for cloth pads, or they can make sanitary napkin pads at home, and they can use that. That is also absolutely okay. So every woman's body is different again. So but if you go by my experience, what experience I have had, I think it is something that has simplified my life personally. And it makes my work easier. I mean, the pain has also gone down when you're using a menstrual cup, and you don't really feel those cramps and all those issues. So I think the only thing is, you need to take care of your hygiene when you're using a menstrual cup. Just empty it properly, wash it properly. Wash it with warm water. Use some Dettol to wash it while you take bath. So if you take these few precautions, I think menstrual cups are the best thing that has been ever created for women. And it is going to make a woman's life much more easier.
So, Linsha, I'll
Yes,
be
Rohit.
asking a question to you, because Huda mentioned that every woman is not the same, her preferences may not be same. So, you are doing some work, right? You and Nikhilesh have made something for women who still want to use pads. Can you tell us about it?
Yeah, that is graphene oxide. What Nikhilesh is doing research on. So it absorbs lot of it absorbs the water in it. So there's no wetness. The pad is almost dry. I've tried it also. So these are graphene oxide sanitary napkins. So it is easily available now. It is a new technology, but it is currently a bit expensive than the normal pad. But it is a good technology.
Right.
So, yeah, I hope Linsha, Nikhilesh, you all go online with this, and we will definitely put this up on Science Duty again. And one more question now, Huda, from Pooja, is that if we want to use clean cloth for periods, is it safe? Is it as the other pad is an environmental concern? What are some things that you could do to make it safe to use cloth pads?
Right. So, hi Pooja. There is nothing wrong in using a cloth, unless you're washing the cloth properly, and if you are somebody who doesn't bleed too much, every month. If you're, taking care of your hygiene, because with cloth, what usually happens is it gets wet very easily, and
Yeah.
if it is soaking a lot of water in it, there are chances of you going through infections, or you going down with an infection. So with a cloth pad, you have to be much more careful that you wash it properly, and you keep on changing these cloths every now and then whenever it is required. And if you have heavy bleeding, I would say that don't use a cloth pad, because it may leak. and then it would give you problem. If you are at home and if you feel that you want to wear a cloth, that's absolutely fine. Going out, I would suggest that you can opt for other options like a menstrual cup that I was speaking about before, and just see to it that you maintain your hygiene at that particular time. I think the things are going to fall in place that way. So when you're at home, you can definitely use a clean cloth, because you know that even if you end up staining your dress, or even if something happens to your dress, you can just quickly go and wash it. But if you are outside, it is always better to opt for another option rather than using a clean cloth.
Yeah. So another question from a guy. So that's great. So Rakhim is asking, can you tell us how to speak with our family that I as a man am aware and understand about periods when they're going through, but it's gets totally awkward to speak to your mother or your sister.
Right. So, Rakim, the first and the foremost thing that you need to understand is any woman is obviously going to be hesitant and awkward, because that's how we've been told that, okay, no discussing about it and no talking about it, kind of a thing. But the first and the foremost thing is you can just start by comforting them. You can just ask them simply. You don't have to tell them that, okay, are you getting your periods, or are you in your periods? You can just ask them, do you need something? Do you want to have a chocolate, or do you want to have your favorite pastry today, or do you want to go to your favorite food joint today, or do you want something that is going to make you feel better if you're not feeling well? So just address it in a very friendly manner. Just go ahead, and because obviously they may not come and tell you that they are menstruating. You do understand it, but they may not come and tell you. So you can just ask them that, do you need something? Maybe, is there anything that can comfort you, or is there anything that will make you feel better? Because if you ask them, they are only going to tell you, okay, I have a tummy ache, or at the max they're going to tell you that I'm not feeling well. So I think you can just address it that way, where you can just ask them what they need at that point in time, or maybe you can be more understanding of the fact that चलो आज खाने में नमक कम हो गया है, or maybe आज शक्कर ज़्यादा डाल दी है, or maybe the food is very bland today. So just be very accepting of the fact that, okay, ठीक है, होता है, they are going through something, so it's absolutely okay, आज नमक कम हो गया. Maybe you can just appreciate them on something that they have done today, or maybe something that you've come across about them, and just do all those good things that a woman needs. And I think you will not even have to address periods, because they will themselves understand that that what they are going through. So you just have to be very comforting. Maybe, if your sister tells you that, okay, I'm having a tummy ache, kind of a thing, you can just offer her a hot water bag, or tell her that, okay, would you need a hot water bag, or would you need something else? Just ask them. I mean, should I make you some ginger tea, or some ginger water, or mint water, if it makes you feel better? So just do these small gestures. I think they'll be more than happy. You don't have to go and address the topic per se of periods, or tell them that, okay, I know about periods, because obviously everybody knows about periods these days.
So
It's
like
not an
even in the family, like
alienated
I'm just
topic.
asking this. Yeah. So, I'm just wanting to add to this that if you're in a shopping center, doing a monthly shopping, and you notice that your mother or sister have not picked it up, you can just casually say, ki, okay, do you want
Right.
pads, want tampons, and even casual stories about your friends and what happened with their periods.
Exactly.
You can mention period
Hmm.
without it having to become like, are you getting period? You don't have to directly say that, my friend, she
Exactly.
she
Yeah.
she gets a lot of period pain, so I understand. You could come and tell her the story, or if your mother or your sister. That's one way you could approach it, Rakim. So I appreciate that Rakim is considerate enough to want to hit this issue with his sister and
Absolutely.
mother.
Absolutely. I
Uh,
mean,
yeah. So yeah,
we
Huda,
are
I think
proud just to say that we have a man who's asking a question in our session.
yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I hope more boys ask such questions in several such panels and discussions, and I hope our students also come up and ask more
Absolutely.
questions. So yeah, on Science DD also we have developed a game on menstruation, and it's called Menstrual Tales. We'll come up with this soon. And yeah, Huda, I'm so grateful that you joined us for this talk. For all our viewers who want to follow their work, Huda is a nutritionist. So other than the period movement, she's also working in the health sector for a long time. So you should go out and check out her social media. And Shraddha, she is a blogger through Soul Outpourings, and both of them have done great job through the period movement. I hope that we can do more collaborations in the future, Huda, and
Absolutely.
soon we will. I hope we can resume our work offline and try to get this message out in
Of
Turbe.
course. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
thanks,
Absolutely.
thanks everyone.
Thank you so much.
Yeah,
Thank you so much.
yeah, yeah. So I'm ending this, but before I end, we have started this trivia on Science Didi, and I just want to uh, announce the names of the people who have won the trivia. Nisarg Nikhilesh, Sinu, Prince, @King 1729, Mr. A.B. Abhi, Rakim Dalwai, Ashish Gupta, Sid J. Khan, uh, Gargi Vijay Raghavan. And on the post, a few people have answered. Just give us a second. Yeah. So on the post, Renu has answered, and the answer for today's trivia was water is more conductive of sound than air. So I hope all of our viewers participate in our trivia. Thank you so much for joining us. We are off now. Hope if you have questions, please feel free to message us and follow the period.